Alright, this will be a very short video, and in this one, I want to talk about 3 tips when it comes to the gym, according to the evidence. First one, do full range of motion. There has been a lot of hype over the years about a concept called stretch-mediated hypertrophy, where basically people would try to do a bunch of angles and techniques to try to emphasize the stretch. However, the best quality evidence that we have shows that it's pretty much equal when it comes to hypertrophy, with certain drawbacks. For example, in this randomized controlled trial, where one of the researchers was Brad Schoenfeld, which is my favorite one when it comes to exercise science. So in this study, they tracked 30 healthy individuals that were previously resistance trained. So they were not untrained individuals, which is a good methodology. They followed them for 8 weeks. One arm did full range of motion while the other one did long bias partials. This is amazing methodology because it basically neutralizes the confounding variable genetics. What they found in this study, as you can tell from the results, is that the muscle thickness increase was the same in between the two groups. So essentially, with full range of motion, you get the same hypertrophy as partials, but it's actually better for the joints and easier to recover from, because basically long partials, they create more muscle damage for the same amount of stimulus, meaning you have to take more time to recover from it. So I personally think, based on the best available data, that it's more intelligent to do full range of motion instead of long partials. Doing full range of motion is going to be around equal for hypertrophy in trained individuals, and it's going to be better to recover from, as well as better for the joints. So that's what I recommend doing instead of long bias partials. And quick reminder, if you want to access what I believe is by far the best female gaze physique program, it's the first link in the pinned comment. And yeah, if you want to join, please join now because the price is going to increase pretty soon. So do that if you're interested. All right, so number 2, do long rests, not short ones. So the data consistently shows that longer rests equate to better hypertrophy outcomes. So for example, in this study, which was a randomized controlled trial, again with Brad Schoenfeld, they tracked 21 young men already trained. They split them into 2 groups. One of them did 1 minute rest time in between sets. The other one did 3 minutes rest time in between sets. And the result was the 3-minute group consistently showed superior muscle hypertrophy compared to the short rest one. So as you can see in the study, quote, muscle thickness was significantly greater for long compared to short rest times in the anterior thigh, and a trend for greater increases was noted in the triceps as well. And the increases in strength were better in the long rest group as well compared to the short one, which means that it was actually muscle. If there was a disconnect, perhaps it would have been just sarcoplasmic hypertrophy instead of myofibrillar. Not saying only myofibrillar matters, but that's a topic for another video. But in this case, what it means is it was actually muscle that was being built. So TLDR, aim for at least 3 minutes of rest in between sets for compound exercises and at least 2 minutes of rest in between sets for isolations. Because of course, bigger muscles need more rest because they're a bigger tax on your central nervous system and in your body in general. So you kind of need to rest more for those. Number 3, put compounds at the start of the workout. This will maximize force production, reduce injury risk, and increase workout volume. Because whatever you prioritize when it comes to exercise order, basically what's in the beginning will have the most benefit when it comes to maximizing force production and increase neural drive. So this will increase the total hypertrophic stimulus of the workout if you put compounds first and isolations later. The only exception is if you have a really weak point that you really need to prioritize. In that case, that may be better to train before the compounds. But in general, it's just smarter to start with compounds because it's when you have the most potential for force production, the most neural drive. And if you do your compounds with maximum capacity, you're going to have an overall higher workout volume. So if you want to maximize volume of mechanical tension, then you should probably put compounds at the start unless you have a really high priority and really weak muscle that you need to emphasize. And that being said, again, if you want to know what is the best female gaze workout program, I uploaded it on the Skool community, and if you want to join it and access it before the price increases, you should probably join now because there's only 5 more spots before I actually increase the price. So right now it's $19, and pretty soon we will have 25 members and the price will increase to $29. So if you plan on joining eventually anyway, it's a smart idea to join now compared to later, because later is going to be more expensive and you're going to be paying $10 more compared to if you join today before the price increase. So join now if you're curious. I don't just talk about female gaze physique and how to achieve it and the best workout splits, etc. I also talk about diet, hair loss, how to have clear skin, what are the best supplements to take. There's a lot to talk about. So if you're curious about any of that, join the Skool community before the price increases. And yeah, if you want to make sure you pay $19 instead of $29, just join today or as soon as possible so that you don't have to pay more later.